Hey guys, so over the past week, I've done something that in my opinion is super cool. I designed a regular chess set, and then I also designed an Anarchy chess set full of pieces with new features to them. I wanted to give myself a challenge to design one thing a day for 7 days while I was on holiday break, and that turned into me going a little bit crazy and making some really cool pieces. So instead of me going through all of Fusion explaining how to make it, it would take hours. I thought I would just show you each piece and tell you what I learned in the process. Starting off with the regular chess pieces, all you have to do is make a flat profile plane and rotate it around the z-axis. That will get you most of your pieces except for the knight. The knight, you'll just have to kind of shape it a little bit and you'll be good to go. And now let's get into the really cool pieces, the Anarchy pieces, starting with the twin pawn. Now the twin pawn is a really simple piece. It's just a pawn that's been split on the z and x axes, but it allows it to split in half. I figured I could use that to overcome the pawn's greatest weakness, the fact that it can't go forward if there's a piece there. So I designed it so you could split it in half diagonally and surround your enemies. After I made the twin pawn, I started getting a little bit excited about the project, and so I made my first piece with an auxiliary piece, that being the fortress rook. The fortress rook is just a regular rook, but on a diagonal peg, he has a giant shield. I always thought the fortress didn't have enough of a guard to it, so giving him a giant shield kind of fit, and I figure you could use the fortress rook to tank a hit if he was to go down. He just wouldn't. However, the other piece also would not do anything. It wouldn't go down, anything like that. For my third piece on the third day, I wanted to get a little bit more technical than just adding a slot or cutting something in half, so I designed the hammer bishop. And the hammer bishop is actually a really cool piece where the notch always kind of looked like a mouth to me. So I decided, hey, why not open his mouth? And I added a hinge at the bottom so he can drop the hammer and take out any piece that's in front of him since he can only attack normally diagonally. And if you want to see how I designed this hinge, I actually have a video on that exact thing, how to make a hinge. You can check it out right here. Now that I was halfway done, I decided I wanted to make another auxiliary piece, chess piece. And I figured since I already made an immovable object, I needed an unstoppable force. Meet the Lance Knight. The Lance Knight is just a regular knight, but I gave him a little lance. The lance can be pointed upright or off to the side, and I figure what the Lance Knight will be able to do is add or remove one space from his movement path. I'm going to skip over the queen for a second because I think that's why everyone came here to see, and I'll show you the guarded king. Now the guarded king looks like a completely normal chess piece, but hidden on the bottom is a nice little table. And what is that table for, you may ask? Well, it's for these minis of the bishop, knight, rook, and pawn. These are regular chess pieces that can go inside of the guarded king. You select one of them at the start of your chess match. Your opponent will not know what you have. And it adds a little bit of strategy and depth to whether or not you want to put your opponent in check because he might just have the piece that can take you out immediately. And finally, my favorite, and definitely by far the favorite of everyone I've shown it to, the Iron Queen. The Iron Queen was a technical challenge for me and also a creativity challenge when it came to how much I wanted to do to her. The Iron Queen sports a bunch of spikes in the center and also a collapsing design using vertical hinges. I have never designed vertical hinges before. I didn't know what vertical hinges were. And what I learned designing the Iron Queen is that you can print on nothing if you just have a close enough gap in your layer height. I believe I used 0.3 millimeter layer height on the top and bottom of the hinge for the gap, and that just allowed it to print on nothing and also completely work out. It's a little bit rough on the start when you start bending it, but then after a minute, it works completely fine. I love this piece to death. I'm really happy with how this project turned out for myself. I wasn't sure if I would be able to do a create a day type situation. I never thought that I'd be able to come up with something like that fast, but putting myself to the test, it really worked out in my opinion, and I think you should do it too. If I had to take away my big lessons for this entire week's worth of designing, it's that 1, you can print on nothing. That's neat. Didn't know that before. But 2, it doesn't have to be fancy to be good. I love both of these chess sets equally. Yeah, the Iron Queen and the Guarded King, they're really cool, but also I designed my regular chess set on my own and it's great and I love it. And that's completely okay. It doesn't have to be big or fancy or do anything special for it to be cool. It can just be cool. And hey, if you want to check out either of these chess sets, they're on my Maker World, and I'll throw a link down in the description for you. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was more of me bragging about my project over the week, but I'm super proud of it. So, hey, you know what? Goes on YouTube. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that cool YouTube stuff, and hopefully I'll see you later and we can print more stuff.